Fascinating.
12 meetings later, I got it to.
Tuesday night. I don't know. Okay. Have a good night, Bob. No, Bob.
No, Bob.
I think he was at class all day.
Yeah, he said he was doing stuff all day. So I'll go ahead. Oh. 1 sec. That better? Yeah, that's better. All right, I will go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I will pull up the draft from last time. Okay, so we are at this point at a 1.39% increase, and I think there are a couple of tweaks still to be made, but I think we're within 90% of where this is going to be ending out. There's a couple of adjustments from last time that we need to do. One is take the transfer station fees back out. Cut that can go over to here. Down. And that's gonna go to TS cap.
So what are you doing? Taking the,
Transfer station projected revenue out of general fund revenue and moving that to transfer station capital. Cap. I did also get the salary scale from the fire department, and that is just the one with names redacted. So that is this is Battelle. That is your scale for firefighters. Everybody here is either a firefighter, lieutenant, or a captain. And then battalion chief, assistant chief, deputy chief, chief, and then rescue director and assistant rescue director. And then FD has a different cleaning person than the regular cleaning. And then they have their own admin.
Who's the admin?
Noah.
Oh, okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay, yeah, thank you.
So there's that. On the admin side, I didn't have any changes from last time. Give me a second. I will try to split out because there were some questions at the public hearing on the election workers.
and I think I have just two quick questions on it
Yep.
and two after you get there.
I
I don't know if any of us can actually answer it.
Terry system.
There were questions on it, the number of them?
No, in the budget, we had it all lumped together.
Oh,
So splitting out what their actual it's 2 days, meals for everybody, other supplies, and then wages.
Just, yeah. I think in the pack that Bob gave us, the food was broken out, but I feel like it was in the wrong category so far.
So this only would have the June or the November election, and payroll came out of it. Uh,
That's the moderator, the 806.
no, because that would have been on last
Wasn't it?
fiscal year.
Yeah,
Moderator would have been on last
yeah,
fiscal
yeah,
year.
sorry.
And then there's FICA on that, and then I believe this must be food, 118 plus miscellaneous 3240. The thing with elections is that we have to watch is a lot of the election workers don't take the pay, but they're entitled to it. So I think leaving it in, like I said, I
So
think
what
one
was the
person
total?
did take
If
well,
you,
806, only one person took pay.
no, I mean like the whole, add all that
Uh,
together.
Adding that together, 806 net N plus 66.
And I think
One.
that random food one was actually, it was from your store, if I recall.
Yeah,
But it just doesn't show up in the breakdown up there,
because I think because they charge it to
the house account.
the house charge, and then there's just a payment to Flying Pond. One, carry the one. Two, carry the one. 1,021.
Okay. And I think in the notes from last year, it was around 3,000 around 3,000 covered two.
I can pull last year's
Elections.
budget.
It covered two elections, but then there was this random 3,000 on top of it, but that should, the double of that should.
Town
cover the
budgets
two.
year by year. I'll grab 25, 26 budget final. Where were
Right there. Stop.
elections?
69, 68.
Yeah.
But it should be 39, 68.
Let me grab
There was
24 fiscal year. No, that's the warrant.
Because there was a note that said they added $3,000 because we were gonna be responsible for printing the ballots versus the state, but I don't think that happened.
Come on. There we go. Elections in the prior year it was 6856.
But we don't spend that.
I mean, I don't think it needs to be 8,000. I think it'd be fine. To June. Yep. And then technically we pay somebody to go to the school referendum for 2 hours. Usually one of the clerks. But I think that falls. I think leaving it flat year to year might be the best and not raise it. So we haven't spent that much this year, but if we're gonna have all new election workers come November. Because most of our returning volunteers have said they're not returning. So we're probably gonna end up paying them. So how many do we normally have? 5?
I think so.
5, and I think I don't know. I'm sure if I come up here. Election warden gets 29, 19 hours, so 717. Election cleaning that can stay. How many? Deputy 664. Ballot clerks, there we go. 21, 26.62. 62. 7, carry the 1. 0, carry the 1. No, that should be carry the 3. I get 3507. So, and that assumes flat.
Plus food, so say 500 for food, which is high.
Yeah.
It's 4,000. Whatever you want.
Will there have to be training for them? The new people, do they have to be trained?
I think they just have to be sworn in.
They s-
Sworn in. I don't think there's necessary.
I don't think there's formal training.
I think
there's,
if there's anyone that needs training, it's just the warden.
yeah, the warden is the one who gets trained.
Is the warden coming back or is that one of the people?
That's Daphne Sanders. who
Yeah,
is
she's,
mine.
she's
She's gonna be back for June, but I don't think she said she was gonna do November. So
We'll
we'll
see, but
we'll see.
it's not like,
So I think
I know MMA has class.
3,100 kind of as a baseline. No, 4,100 as a baseline.
Yeah.
4,100 as a baseline. And then 5,000 as in 900 for training.
It's more accurate.
I can do it. Elections, 5,000. There's elections. Okay, so that should be 3,500. 3,500.
Or just election food, right?
Ele-
Or
If there's
election
any
other,
other,
but I would put election in front of it because when we
Yep,
look at it
I
next year,
did.
it's not gonna
It
register.
elections other. 15. Yeah, 1,500. All right, here's that one.
My question was, do you know what's D&D? All I can come up with is Dungeons and Dragons, and that's not what it is.
What's it under?
It's on admin and it shows up like in Trio as D&D, and I don't have any idea what it is. Right there.
Deeds and discharges.
Thank you. That should be tied in with the liens, correct?
Without Dorcas being here, I don't know.
I mean, we have a lien expense, plus we have a deeds and discharge expense, so.
I would explain why the deeds and discharges, lien discharges.
Right, but now go back to the spreadsheet that we have, and we have a lien expense item, which is different than D&D, I believe.
yeah, I think there's two parts of the process.
I think there is.
Right, because I think one is
On and then you discharge it.
the
once they're
discharging,
paid.
and I
But I
think
mean, we should like put it near each
spread
other,
it.
you know what I mean? And I don't
Uh,
think it's accounted for, or is it right there? So is lien cost is actually D&D, or is there an additional 5,000?
I mean, I can just cross-reference last year. So salary. So lien costs last year were 5.
It might be the same thing.
I think it is. I think it's just budgeted as one.
It's just different in the.
Right.
trio-
It's
trio.
split because it's two sides of the same process.
No, it's not split. It's labeled differently.
So,
Because there's also a lien income, which is the other side.
which is the
Yeah,
people that are paying coming off a lien.
correct. But
So,
on this side, it's expenses. So
Yep.
the other one.
so I think that 5,000,
So
because
it's,
you want to have up to 5,000. So even if you don't spend it all within a fiscal year, you want that overhead to be able to.
I just want to know what it was.
Yeah, no.
And then there was one more. Oh. This, I don't, it's not in the line item, but it was something that was talked about either last meeting or meeting before. We moved the mileage around because the mileage wasn't in the right place, but then we were talking about lowering the mileage because getting a courier to take the money to the bank, but was there ever a quote for the courier to take the money?
We didn't because we're not there yet as we transition to new clerks. Where we have remote deposit capture on checks, you only need to go to the bank once a week now versus before with all the checks, they were going more often.
And there's a missing piece. Once the courier takes it to the bank, we need the receipt back at the office.
So he can bring it back when he picks it up next week, or he could
Email?
email it to you.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, Amazon does. it,
Again,
right?
I
But
think it's one of those, well,
maybe
let the
it's
new clerk,
Just like Amazon, boom, picture.
well, and I mean, on the receiving side, I think you could just have the bank. I'm not gonna speak how other
Yeah.
banks do it, but okay, I think KSB, they can email that.
But
So,
something to look into but so mileage has got to go up because a courier is not gonna work on 54 cents a mile. I don't have any idea what it looks like,
The
but
courier would be paid it separately. It
right.
wouldn't Be by mile.
I
know,
mean,
but
we
talked
could-
about lowering the mileage because they won't be going to the bank, so we need another line or an account
or,
to cover the courier because they're not free.
oh, I don't disagree that they're not free. I'm trying to think who we use as a bank that we could benchmark. Oh, who do we use at the bank?
Oop. Yeah, but we're thinking about bringing a courier to take it. It's a much, I personally think it's a better way to do it.
I don't disagree. But it does need a.
Yeah,
Uber
We
does.
need to account for the cost.
Main. Hello.
I'm guessing $100.
I'm just
$100
gonna
that
guess
trip.
on cost. You know what? Gemini, give me it.
Are you
Yeah.
going to AI?
I am. Cost.
It's helped us a lot, I have to say, on some of this stuff.
Okay. For this kind of curry or sir,
Yes,
we use
courier.
Andro, right?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
Wayne said that it cost them only $10 a week.
Really?
Andro, where is the nearest? Wow.
But they have to go from, do they have a town rate a bank rate in Wayne? Sorry.
Don't know.
No, yeah.
The
think
nearest
so.
I don't
Andro
think so either.
is J.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that's right.
So directions. 1990
1997.
1997 North Road, Mount Vernon, Maine. That is stop back to 1997 North Road. That is a 30, we're gonna call it 40 miles round trip. For once a week to the bank, which is 40 miles round trip. I can Quebec County, Maine.
Kennebec, Missouri.
No, because otherwise it'll pull national data in. Where if you tell it where you are, it will attempt to search. This is why I use Gemini, because it taps into Google search engine.
Keep
And-
the right name though at the end. I can see it. I can
Yeah.
barely see it.
I can zoom in.
Much
Oh,
better.
There you go.
So 18 miles from here to J,
Yeah,
36 round trip.
60 to 90. Yeah.
per trip.
Sure. So
So 240 to 360 per month. I'm gonna average high. 360 times 12. Can I do math? Can I do mental math today? No, I can't. 0 carry 2 times 6 is 2. Carry the 1. 7 0 0
They do
6
$10
3
per trip.
0 2.
So $520.
it would
Yep,
be,
the rate is the same for us as it is for.
yeah, it would be
Wayne.
like almost $18.
So it would be
the clerk.
for a courier service would be roughly 4,300 per year.
Okay, I think we should put that there and then maybe confirm. You can confirm before this goes final.
Yeah, and get a quote. Oh yeah, we can budget that in.
Sorry.
I'm gonna leave.
No, I said $10.
I'm gonna
wings.
leave the mileage in there at 500 in case there's other people that get reimbursed because there are eligible other people that are eligible.
There are, and they're not. If you go on the stuff that Trio provided, it's broken down into the different divisions, but yeah, 500 will cover the whole town so far.
I'm not gonna be able to spell this.
COU.
Yeah, see. COU.
Go back up. There you go. IER.
Rare service. Rare service. We're gonna go 43. We're gonna go 4,400.
Just in case.
Well, I'm just rounding off the extra $80.
Yes, I mean, until you get an answer, but at least it'll hold it.
Please tell me let's see, did I break the spreadsheet? Nope, I didn't break the spreadsheet. Let's go. When I don't break the spreadsheet. Anything else in this general area?
Oh. Yeah, health officer.
Yep.
Do they get any stipend? Because I think we had a
We
zero,
have typically offered it, but she has not taken it.
but we should, again, reserve it for,
Yeah, I'll put should have been over here.
what do they normally get?
I don't recall, honestly.
I can check what we did last year. No, Dan never did, and I don't. Undesignated funds. What? We budgeted $0 for it last year.
I thought that's what, yeah,
And then,
they never wanted anything.
and then if we go to 24.
Nothing. Same
Nothing in
person.
24.
It's the same person. It was.
And prior to that was Dan.
Uh,
Yeah, Dan.
I mean, if it's anything like the other similar positions, like the emergency manager, we usually do a $500 a year stipend.
That's, I just think it should, at least a
think it-
placeholder.
I think we used to offer $1,000.
1,000. I mean,
I know Beth doesn't want anything.
I still think.
I
we
think
should
it's
put it in. I think 500 would be a good idea. Just
Because
just to have it, and then if
Just-
it's more, just draw the other 500 from contingency that year.
But you did say you already know she doesn't want it.
Yeah.
At least we have it just in case.
Yeah, because what if she quits and then we gotta put somebody in and they don't want to do it for free?
Let's see, where can I insert this and not blow up the spreadsheet? Can I go right here, insert? So I'll do 500. All right. Anything else on the admin line that we have concerns about?
Nothing here.
All right, so net on admin with the change, with the rework of benefits. And the town operations coordinator, which is on the wage panel. 520,000 down 1%. Down 1.06%. About a 5,500 decrease year over year.
That's good.
Fire and rescue. I haven't heard any changes from Jason. It's up from where we started, mostly because the retirement has been carried in, so it is a 29.24%. Yeah.
I know that the other one was good. That's better.
Now I can read it.
Try and do this, you can still read the total. So fire department alone, 111,000 in payroll. Fire operations, so upkeep of all of the apparatus, upkeep of the station. Base turnout gear maintenance plus one emergency repair replacement. water holes, station, truck, administration of the department. It's 13%. And
Oh, yeah, we did last meeting. We did electric and
yep.
heating oil and fuel.
What's the money?
So they basically have it's effectively a capital account that they build up. And then like when they replace the one at your house, or say this one here was to crack and it needed to be replaced, you could go in and replace it. And they just keep, it usually costs about 10, depending on the water hole, 10 to 20,000. So they keep that kind of built up. Right now there is enough in there with that $500 that they have enough to replace a water hole. They're looking at one of the firefighters abuts Dolph Pond. So they're seeing if they can go in down there because the only hydrant, if you're on that side of town, is either you go to Rome at Castle Island. There's a hydrant right before you get onto Castle Island, or you're coming back to Doug Stevens Pond.
Mm.
What about the one on Belgrade?
Oh, there might be one up in there. I've never actually seen that hydrant to know how good of a hydrant it is.
I talked to the lady and she said the state came in for some reason and redid it.
Maybe they redid the driveway. I don't know if they did the actual like tubing. I've black.
That's
think
good that you didn't have to use it.
No, like I said, I don't even know if I've backed a truck in since I've been on the department actually, because we once a year we'll go around all the hydrants, hook up to them, and through our discharge you can actually push water out through, suck it back in, push it back through, and it kind of blows out all the gunk. But I've never done that hydrant. Did the old hydrant just beyond my grandparents' house on the Belgrade Road, but they took that one out of service because there's just never enough water. Oh, it's just a rain catch basin.
Oh, yeah,
That's
there's
just-
the one at Doug Stevens' house.
Yep.
That's the one you're talking about? Or
There was one beyond it.
Okay, so there's three on that.
No, there's one just beyond it got taken out.
Gone.
It's
Okay.
gone because couldn't get enough water. There's another one down to Dunn's Corner that's just as bad, but we keep that one in service because there really isn't any other water and we could suck their pond dry pretty quick.
You're gonna send me that list?
I thought I scanned it.
You did scan it, but you didn't send it.
If you give me 2 seconds, I can
Yep.
remote into my home computer and see if it actually saved to my
You can do it
scans.
after the meeting. Just please
I
send
can
it.
grab it right now. Come on. Come on. I pay an awful lot of money for this service to not be able to. No. Scans. Here it is. Got it. File transfer.
Oh, yeah.
Quit. Stop. Okay. Yep, there it is. So
KCM.
there is Dave and Daphne Sanders' house, there's one. Where the memorial is, there's one. On the bridge across from the Sanders house, there's one. There's one at the town lot over here. One at the West Mount Vernon Dam, Stevenson's residence. The Blake residence on the Belgrade Road. I believe this is the one that may have came out. East, another one in the Pelton at 224.
I think that's the one.
The Woods End one. The beach lot. The Dunn lot, so that'd be Todd Dunn's. He's got a pond out in the field. That one. Yep, these are all the hydrants. Jacob's lot. And then another one on the Bean Road. It's on the stream, not at Locks Corner, but for a little bit further down. And then this is the Roundstone one is pretty rough. And then there's a culvert one down on the Bartlett Road. But that hydrant, when you draw water out of it, you don't take it anywhere else because it's milfoil.
Oh, the
So-
culvert one.
Huh?
The culvert one or the
Yeah, the
round?
culvert on Bartlett. So that one there, we'll actually draw the water, use it. What we're doing, then we'll just open the dump chute on our way back to the station and draw from Minnehaha. Yeah.
You're gonna email me that though?
Yeah, I can. File transfer. Desktop. I well, actually, yes, I do want to go to
Why
desktop.
don't we put that up on the website?
I can, yep. Desktop. Desktop scans. Receive. Quit out of that, minimize that, minimize that. It should be on my desktop. It is. Documents. I think the fire department already has a tab. Log in. Log in. New category. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yep. Come on. There we go.
Last question was, Harry brought it up at the budget presentation. Have we consulted with anyone if the change in the firemen's hours, the volunteers is going to affect workman's comp?
So, and this is what I was trying to get at. What is changing this year is that the hours worked are roughly the same. There might be a little bit of difference in and around because of the call volume increase. But we've already, the fire department has always accounted for the hours. What's changing this year is we're upping the salary line with it's a hope that the budgeted amount actually makes it to June. So the hours have always been recorded, and what the town is liable from a workers' comp should be relatively the same as last year. Little bit of variance because of the call volume, but like all the on-call hours, that's all recorded. The trainings are all recorded. So there shouldn't be too much of a fluctuation. I will ask Bob to give them a call.
I get what you're saying, but changing the actual payroll, I think ties into workman's comp. It's worth a phone call.
Oh, yeah, we will. I just haven't had a chance to do it the last 2 days. I can go in. I think we can be safe and factor 5%, maybe.
Sorry. what was that?
Factor a 5% increase on workers' comp.
I think our workman's comp's actually high already, but just confirm that changing the payroll doesn't change things, or if it does.
Yeah.
Because you have to do the audit every year anyway.
Yep. When did Bob already do the workers' comp audit?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, he would know. Did you have to put more than hours on? Did you put actual payroll? But worth a call.
Is there any change to workers' comp from the workers' comp audit that you did? See if he gets back to me. Rescue again. It's all this change is 100% salaries driven, and I'll kind of go over that again. There's two parts to it. There is the on-call hours, which is for two people. It's two people on call per shift, 4 shifts a day, or 2 shifts a day, so 4 total shifts during the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it is $30 per shift or $120 a day. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is $50 a shift. So that would be
That's just in rescue, right? Or is that?
just in rescue. Fire is because rescue, like I can leave town, and if I'm not available, I'm not available. Rescue, they cannot
They
leave
have
Mount
to
Vernon,
stay.
Vienna, or Reed Field. So they have to kind of stay within, I think it's 5 to 10 minutes of the rescue barn. So that is
So 200 for them? Wait. Two of them's 100.
Yeah, 200 per day, so 600, yeah, 200 a day on the
And
weekend.
then times two.
300,
days,
yeah.
right? Okay.
3 days at the higher rate,
Friday,
Fridays.
Saturday, Sunday.
So. And then the other side of it is when they're actually going to a call, they get paid for that call. Rescue. And because we don't have a lot of rescue people, they're all officers, so they're at the higher, like $23 and $26 an hour. Which compared to an EMT is not as much.
Did you send us that pay scale?
I can. I didn't get it. I had just gotten it, so
If you could send it, that would be helpful.
yep. I will just copy it into what I do with it. Did I quit out of it? I might have quit out of it. Give me a second because I gotta go into my email. Disconnect. Um,
I think it was in Jason's email.
no, the officer salaries were, but not the actual firefighters. Now let's go fire. Did not copy. I didn't copy. I didn't copy. That is in the draft that I will set out after this meeting. Delete. Draft. All right. We can go back to share my screen. Come on, Windows. Cooperate, please. Cast. There we go. And then that is your this should be the two. So like I said, your chief officers plus rescue director and assistant chief, they get a stipend for their additional work that they do. And then they get their hourly for calls, trainings, meetings, and other work around the department. And then these will be your lieutenants and firefighters. Who get, when you're first starting out, you get, $16 an hour. And then as you get promoted and been with the department, you get a little bit more.
Can you make that go away so we can see it?
Uh,
Gotta get some.
Mine's about ready to.
They said 16 to start.
16 to start.
Mine home because it was.
And
leaving.
then-
Rescue's a little higher. I think it's 20 to start because you have to be certified with your EMT basic. Huh? Yeah. So right now, Amanda Dunn and Becky Kent do almost every night and a chunk of the weekends, and then Steve Linder does the day shift. And then there's a new person who I think is helping with the day shift, and I just do not remember her name off the top of my head. So there's 4 of them. 5 of them, but I don't know what Michael Church is doing if he's doing shift coverage. So there's 5 of them that are certified. One of the Winthrop ambulance EMTs lives in Fayette. Fayette, I believe, Fayette or Wayne. He assists. And then we have a couple of firefighters that have taken the class but not passed the test. And they go. And then there's a couple of firefighters that'll go if it's a call that needs manpower. But once rescue gets more members, you'll see fire payroll come down because fire won't be automatically toned on every rescue call. So that's why because rescue doesn't have a lot of people, it's driving the fire call volume up because they need help on the calls.
What's the ideal head count for rescue?
I don't know if they have an ideal head count. It's just more than they have now. I think back in the day it was 7 or 8.
Okay,
And now they're down to 5. So if anybody's interested and wants to get their EMT basic, it's like I think I'm trying to think what Noah told me. I think it's like a 3 or 4 month class now. Plus a test, a written, like a 200 question written exam that you need to get an 80 on. So it's not, it's too much for me. But again, rescue gets a lot of grants. No, I shouldn't say a lot of grants, but they get their supplies. They're able to kind of, oh, the ambulance is here. Let me take, stuff from the ambulance, or like biohazard stuff. If, we're getting wrapped up and our gloves are contaminated, wrap them up, send them with the ambulance, and the ambulance disposes of it. So that's why you don't see like disposal costs for that. We just kind of ship that with her ambulance service.
Where do we record the grants? Are they actually?
So right now they have one grant. And it's for rescue, and it is for they have the Brent Amberley account for supplies and training for rescue. And that's a trust fund. No,
Just a gift.
just a
Yeah.
gift.
It was set up initially as if it were a trust fund, but it
Yep.
was just an outright gift, so that would be restricted.
To supplies.
Doesn't need to be in an account earning interest, but can be spent down.
Okay.
I've done a little bit of research on that recently,
Okay.
chatted with Jason about it.
Okay. So they've got that, and then they had a 60 or 90. They got a big grant last
They
year.
got a $50,000
Grant.
grant at the end of June.
Yep, that needs to be spent by the end of this fiscal year. So, and I don't know.
Is that?
Yeah. Yep, I know because I think Noah was saying it had to be spent this fiscal year. And I think that they were gonna get it was for supplies. I think they're gonna get like radios and some of those items.
I heard rumor that they might need a new vehicle. I don't know anything about that.
It's not gonna be, it'll be after 52 is replaced. So they've still got another 20. No, theirs is up. It was replaced in 2011, so they'll need a truck in 2031. That'd be 20 years. So for context, fire replaces a fire truck every 30, and then rescue does every 20 because it's got more mileage on it.
Is theirs just like a pickup truck or is it more vanny?
It's right now it's a Ford F-450.
Really?
So it's a generic. And Jason was talking to me this the other day. The actual back of the thing where all the doors are, that's a fiberglass chassis that was designed in theory, big in theory air quotes there, that you could take that off the chassis and slap it on a new chassis. I think there is discussion that the current configuration, because right now the rescue van has a Jaws of Life on it. It has Jaws of Life. It had air packs. It had a lot of fire operations. The move now is to kind of do away with that because Vienna's got a Jaws of Life. Reedfield's got a Jaws of Life. We have another set of Jaws of Life on 52. The town doesn't need to maintain 2 sets of Jaws of Life. And there was times when rescue was originally going to things that fire wasn't. Now, if there's a car accident, fire and rescue are both going to go. 52 is going to roll, and you're going to have a Jaws of Life. And if for whatever reason 52 is out of service, call Vienna, call Reedfield, and we'll have a second set of Jaws through our mutual aid partners. So there's some reconfiguring. So I don't want to say that yes, they're going to immediately take it off. They may be a move to fully reconfigure the vehicle.
Did the air packs that are on there, were those in the discussion when we,
Those are being taken out of service.
those are the,
So
okay,
in December, we had a fleet of 12 air packs and 12 spare bottles. Probably more spare bottles than 12, but 12 air packs. Each air pack had a spare bottle. In kind of doing inventory and analysis, Jason pared down to 10. So 4 on the 2 Class A's. So 51 and 53 each have 4 plus 4 packs with a bottle plus a spare bottle. And then 52, the smaller truck, has 2 packs and 2 bottles. And that's plenty because we only have 5 people that are SCBA certified. But it's like with our mutual aid partners, Vienna guys all the time they haven't rolled their truck is trucking water. They'll come grab one of our packs and pack up with ours. And then we should hopefully have our cascade system up and running. So we
What's
can
that?
fill, that is how you refill the bottles.
oh,
Right now, our bottles are, so what happened was, Livermore Falls got a grant and got a new cascade system. They gave us their old cascade system, and yeah, that was 6 months ago. No, it was almost a year ago.
Wow.
It was a year ago. And they just got it wired in this past week, and there's more problems to the tune of clunking in the compressor. So,
So my understanding is that we're at a point, I mean, it seems like we're in the weeds.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I thought we were closing out the.
we're just going
Okay.
oncing everything over,
Okay.
making sure we're good. That kind of wraps up fire and rescue. Transfer station. On the transfer, where did I drop it? I think I dropped it over here. So transfer station, last year we budgeted 1,100 hours for transfer station manager, and the attendance, we budgeted 1,000 hours each. To date, we have only expensed probably overshot it. Transfer station,
there you go.
right there, personnel, a net 30,000. Which what are we, 8 months in, 9 months?
8.5. because
8.5.
payroll. March, so just audience.
Dorcas, are you confident that the categorizations here are properly reflecting transfer station payroll?
So for transfer station, there are still a few months of some of Megan's time as cleaning work that hasn't been reclassified yet.
So-
So it'll go down.
It'll go
Okay.
down.
Go down.
Okay.
So 30,000 is a good benchmark to do an average on. Because it's a little over.
Yep.
Okay. So we divide that by 8.5.
Again, I'm just thinking of the time cards that I see, and I think the 2 attendants each log about 10 hours
A pay
a
period.
week,
Yep.
not a pay period. And then Megan's closer to 15 to 20 a week.
So if we went 12 on the high side per, so that's would be 24 per pay period or per week? Per week
Per week.
The number
Per
of
week.
people Per week.
time. Okay. So 24 times 52 is right around 1,200 for both. It goes up during the summer. So that's, I have it in a spreadsheet. So I budgeted 1,500 currently.
Were you taking into consideration another person so they could have time off Saturday or Sunday?
Right, but they wouldn't be getting paid for that. So the total hours
Okay.
would be the same. Even
Okay.
what we're trying to budget is how many hours are actually being worked and then paying that.
Okay.
Whether you have 2 or 3, it's going to be roughly the same.
Okay. So an additional employee wouldn't up anything.
Right.
Okay.
But
So,
we haven't gotten the surveys back to see what people want to do for the hours yet either.
right. But even if you got getting the survey data back on the 16th, we're not going to have policy decisions on the transfer station hours. That data is going to take a couple of months to sift through.
It's all on the computer.
It is, but you still have to like sift through it and read it and analyze it.
Yeah, I wouldn't think we're doing any changes based on the survey at this point.
No, so I would say changes the transfer station is probably going to be a next budget cycle decision.
Okay.
Because you'll have the analysis done by July. And then you got to take that analysis and go to the transfer station committee and have them start working through what those changes look like and then come back. You could special town meet it you could do a special town meeting in December. But in terms of the upcoming fiscal year, there's nothing concrete. We can't budget for it.
Okay.
But if going back to the average over the last 8.5 months, we've averaged $3,500, just over $3,500 per pay period. So if you times that by 12, you get a total payroll cost of roughly 42,000. So I think,
What did we have for last year?
last year we had 63,000. With these current rough numbers in there for hours,
So you have about 48,000.
for just under 48,000. And we estimated that they're using 1,200 hours here, just over 1,200. Yeah, I think maybe 1,600 to be a little safer, but would you say Megan was averaging 25 a week?
20 a week.
20, 15, 20 times 52 is 1,040. So this one probably could go back to 1,100 is probably accurate here.
Now you're up to 54.
54. That's fine. If you could grab that and then maybe 2 July Augusts. And just kind of see, because that would give us a summer, 2 weeks in the summer to kind of average off, and then 2 weeks this time of year. And then we can kind of know definitively.
Like, she gets 2 separate checks, one for her transfer station and one for the. Sorry, what do you want? And I'll get back to you.
Okay, we'll circle back to that one. as for the regular expenses, I don't think I mean, I think we've clawed back the extra bulky bin and some overages there. We're gonna fund capital with revenue, so that'll be about 20,000 projected this coming year. Um, based on what's already come in and the fact that the fees have gone up. So you should be good there. So you're looking at roughly a 7.3% reduction year over year. Again, we might have some adjustments with pay. So that'll probably, I think it's safe to say between a $16,000 and a $20,000 cut there. And then retirement will kind of fluctuate based on pay.
What happened with the drainage project for the capital? That kind of disappeared.
There's,
I think without, there's no bids yet. The transfer station committee doesn't have the bids together.
yeah.
They
haven't put
didn't.
out-
Yeah.
So I think one of that where it's in capital, there is enough in capital from what I've heard to fund it. And then if it's over that, once you get the bids back, then it's either a special town meeting or it waits and goes to the next budget process. But where it's a capital project, and you're using capital funds, you have that flexibility that you can either let the committee kind of say, okay, this needs to happen, we can do it, there's enough in capital to do it based on the bids, or the bids come back like this project out here, and it's, okay, we either need to wait to the end of the fiscal year and put it on the next fiscal year, or have a special town meeting. But that's kind of a discussion as that project continues. It doesn't need to be, we can't decide it tonight. We're putting 20,000 into capital in addition to what we had based on the 24 audit. And we'll kind of take it from there.
We put the ramp on without having bids.
The bids came back and
We put 35,000 on for the ramp without a bid back. I'm just saying. You can do what you want with it.
we're putting projected revenue in of 20,000. We know there's capital there. We're not asking for a direct capital rate, and we're not asking for anything to come out of property taxes for it.
No, but it dropped off of, it wasn't on the capital side and it wasn't there, so. It's,
We're talking about.
No, we're talking about, we've all along through the budget process knew the ramp was going to be replaced and knew we were probably going to put some of the expense onto property taxes. So we put a placeholder in pending the bids. This project came up out of the last transfer station committee meeting. It was identified as a need. Until there is some numbers thrown around of what it's going to cost. But from what I was told, and correct me if I'm wrong, there is projected to be enough in capital to pay for it,
if they don't move forward with the other compactor.
which they're
not
not doing.
Not correct.
So there should be enough in capital. Plus whatever they don't spend this year is going to revert into capital throughout and not go to undesignated funds. So you'll get whatever's projected to be, which based on what we're under budgeting is probably gonna be about $16,000 to $20,000 plus all the revenue from next year. It's gonna be $100 and something thousand in capital. So as that process works out, there's $100 something thousand there that can be worked with. And then if it's not enough based on the bids, then you have a special town meeting and fund it that way on either special town meeting can either change the commitment or it can use undesignated funds. But I think
What are we talking about? I mean.
the drainage at
no,
the,
That's not gonna be that much by any means.
I hope it's not.
right, but I'm just saying that
No.
there is enough built up there that worst case scenario, it costs, there's $100,000 worth of work there, the money is there to fund it and still have a reserve left over for if a compactor has to be replaced in an emergency
Or repaired, yep.
or repaired. And that's kind of where the difference was, is the community center had already worked down its capital to do the spray foaming. and there was another project that used capital
Well, the
I did
spray
this-
foaming and
all the stuff in the
columns.
base-
and the reconstruction. Everything in the basement here basically has drawn that capital down. So now they're in the process of rebuilding their capital. I haven't heard any numbers changed here. I will get back from Bob on
Can you blow
workers'
that
comp.
up a little bit or
Yep.
not? Yeah, just a little. Good.
But here. Yep. Yep.
think it's pretty consistent with 36 hours every 2 weeks, so it's 18 hours a week.
Yep.
And just a couple more, or 1 to 2 more per week in the summer, 38 to 40 hours.
So 18,
20 hours.
20 hours. Yep. So we'll factor 20 year round, which would be 1,040. So I would safe to leave that one there at 1,100. And then on the attendance, can you pull?
Yep.
Because this is the one I think that is still, I think it was safe at 50.
Great, the winter 16 to 20 hours per pay period.
Yep.
Summer.
8 to 10 per week.
10 to 11.
10 to 11.
Longer in the summer?
Yeah, so instead of 8 to 10, it's 10 to 11 during the summer. So 10 hours per week, so 20 hours per week times 12. That's 1,040. So I think that could safely be 1,200.
Well, not as low as I would.
And that brings you to a transfer station at 46,000. And we're projected this year based on where we're averaging to be at 42. So I personally am comfortable going back up to 15 on the attendance. Which is an extra 5,000 in there. And that there's a buffer. And a fairly sizable buffer, but it's about 5,200. So about a $11,000 reduction. But still a very safe estimate. Again, I think with that number there, you probably, if there was a move to change the hours, there'd be a little bit of headroom in there. For increased hours.
And we're still doing Wednesdays.
Yep, that's all in there. All we've been doing is last year I think they presumed that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the attendants were putting in the same number of hours as Megan. And that's just not the case based on payroll data. So we can claw it back, still leave a buffer and save a little bit of money.
Just in conversations with her, I see her often on Fridays
Yep.
when I'm doing the warrant, because she comes in to clean. And there's a lot of cleaning and just general stuff around the transfer station that she does before and after.
Yep.
Regular hours.
But she does not the
Yeah, I
attendance.
know she's been
Yep.
chipping ice. like
Yep.
that.
So I think we're good there. That's an $18,000 reduction or 8.31%.
Wait, don't leave that.
Oh.
tab. On the liability insurance.
Yep.
Do we have a list of like properties and assets and stuff that are covered on that?
That would be a
property
Bob,
insurance.
Bob question.
And my reason is because when you pull up the tax cards on the properties in town, the addresses don't line up. So we want to make sure those addresses are correct and line up with what's on the liability insurance.
We can certainly do that, and I will.
If you have liability insurance on your properties and you give them the wrong address, they're not going to insure you. So we
Yep.
want to make sure they're correct.
Yep. I will. That's a note for Bob. T. Sure. And
We just
then
have the policies, don't we have the policies in the book in the selectmen's office, select board office?
Should be.
could be. Again, Bob's kind. I told Bob you need to be here tonight, but. And Bob did the workers' comp audit, so I will have him just double check with MMA on that because he did the audit.
Got it.
Oh, you did the. Is there a change this year, or are we?
We got the bill,
Oh,
I think. Let me,
yeah. If you want to
Yeah.
dig for that, because right now we're budgeting flat year to year, 32,445.
And I think we only spent 17,000 last year. You weren't here, Dorcas. I think we spent like 17,000 last year, but the question was regarding the change in the firefighters, not their hours, but their salary, if that would affect it. And I don't know if you know that answer.
So we'll pinhole that one and come back. Up next is roads. So the big change here is sign account is bumped to 5,000 for, I need to get more details with Jeff Stocker, but I had a verbal conversation with him at Pi Day and he seemed pretty open to it, so we'll budget 5,000.
That's for materials, right?
Huh? Oh, sorry. 5,000. He thinks it's probably too much in materials, but
I think so, but that includes
The other
also,
si- the other
like,
sign.
signs that he does, right?
and then he also thinks it's enough to do 5 because right now we have 4, 2 on Pond Road at both ends, 1 on the North Road, 1 on CV Corner. This would add a 5th one on the Belgrade Road. And that would cover all your major entrances into town with the exception of Wings Mills, but yeah, the green ones. If you go look at the one on the North Road, it is in pretty dire straits.
They all look like that.
Yeah, the North Road one is the worst of them, and the color has faded. Yeah,
Eaten up by the vines.
yeah. And then the 2 on Pond Road are in okay shape, relatively.
Whoever brought that to our attention, I forget her name.
Yeah.
I apologize. But she also said if we weren't going to get on it, that she was going to privately fund it. We should probably, was it? We should probably get back to her. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So
I don't know if we want to get back to her to say that we've approached
That's
Mr.
cool.
Stockford to have
the industrial arts program.
do it.
Yeah, whoever has, I don't, so. And then per moving back to here, there is a $50,000 reduction in the road construction line. Plus, the road capital line, so we're taking 100,000 less ultimately into roads. I just have capital broken out because it was a separate warrant article. And we're going to take, there's roughly 400 something thousand in roads capital. We're gonna take 100,000 out of that. And so that would give you about 420,000 for the Sadie Dunn Road. And then we're also gonna move the remainder from the Blake Hill Bridge project, whatever that comes in under budget, that will move to roads capital and start the process of covering any remaining overages on the Sadie Dunn project if that runs over budget, what they're projecting, plus start rebuilding the reserve to start the Blake Hill Bridge project or Blake Hill Road project and Hubby Loose.
So that was crystal clear, but so how much actually will come out of the capital account? I had two things in my
So there's
notes. I couldn't.
I think we said our ballpark on Blake Hill Bridge is 400,000. We were getting back. We were only going to spend
It's 460.
four.
Okay, just
Yeah. So 450 plus you got, depending on what Europe is, another 50,000 going in plus 150,000 drawdown of what's already there because you want to leave roughly 300,000 for emergencies.
There's 485 in there that I know of.
Right, so
that's where you take it.
I'm gonna-
You said 460 and you said 450.
So no, the 460 is the
460.
carryover from Blake Hill.
Okay.
That's going to go in there. Europe is going to go in there. That's another 50, roughly 50,000. So that's going to put 500,000 in. Plus we're going to draw down 150,000 of what's already in there down to around 300,000. So the total expense out of there is going to be like 650,000 plus the $320,000 road construction line. And
Wait, plus that.
Plus that.
But on
Plus
the other
that.
side, okay.
but on the other side.
Okay.
So in theory, there's going to be about $1 million in road work done. And of that, you're only raising 320,000.
Okay. Thank you.
So, and then after that, we're going to spend the next 10 years building all of that back up. But you'll have 3 of the major roads, 4 if you count Dunn's Corner, which was recently done, repaved the correct way, dug up and rebuilt. So then it'll be the next $1 million project, which is the Bean Road.
we should have about $500,000 left over on the Blake Hill if it doesn't go over budget. And just FYI, there is a little bit of glitch in the project right now in that they didn't find bedrock where they expected to find bedrock.
That's a small glitch.
So,
It's fixable.
so like I said, I think 450 is an estimate.
Yeah.
It's probably
Reason.
reasonable. And then that's why I was pushing back during that meeting on Blake Hill being done, the road this coming fiscal year. I think it's going to take another round of budgeting before that'll get done. But Sadie Dunn will get done, and then there'll be another round of funding conversation on Blake Hill Road. And then winter sand salt pile. From what I was told, they have run it completely out this year. What's in there, or
They have.
they have.
Yep.
So, and that cost roughly 100,000. So, assuming they don't need to, if I don't, were they going out to buy more?
I believe so, yes.
So they are bringing more in. So I think we're safe to leave that at 150,000 again, with whatever unused is also going to roll into capital. Again, I don't think we need to increase it, but I'm not comfortable decreasing it where we did run out at 100,000.
Yeah, if we want to keep our salt levels up like we
Right.
did this.
And I
That's right.
don't think anybody has, I think the roads have been a lot better this year
Yeah,
Right.
with the increased
That
salt.
was an increase in salt, so we gotta maintain it.
Karen, you don't look confident in that statement.
I know that there's still sand and salt in there because I talked to Lee on Sunday, not a ton. But I also talked to him about again, a capital thing, the sand salt shed. They did a fix on it about 7 years ago and it cost about $7,500. They put that concrete liner on
Yeah.
the inside. It actually looks fairly good. I didn't go in. I stood on the edge with his permission. Cost about 7,500 to do that. So just assume it's double that.
Yeah.
15,000 or so. And then I said, what about the roof and the structure up there? And he said that when there was a repair
Mhm.
recently, when the guy was up there, he said there's one section that needs to be replaced. So add another 10,000, but I mean, that's 25,000 and not $1 million. You don't, it doesn't sound like we need to replace the whole thing. I know that's been like hanging on everybody's head about replacing the salt shed for $1 million. It doesn't sound like that's necessary. I'm not arguing.
I don't think it's I don't,
there is an engineer's report on that, so we probably. need to
yeah, I
look at
should
that
pull
again.
it.
Yeah.
I think what it is the structural design of it is deficient. And from what I remember, because I think Reed Field's in the same boat because they have the same structure.
There's a lot of them around the state.
There's a lot of them around and
Because it was a state.
it was a state design.
Design.
Yeah.
So, and the state is recommending that they be replaced with a different structure.
Good.
Like I said, I don't think it is a this year problem. I think with how we're changing around capital, I think between this and other capital, there should be enough buildup within capital that should it go, you take 300, you take what's in capital, the emergency, because that's why we have the emergency capital reserve of roughly 300,000 that we want to maintain. You take that and that covers your cost to bond the project. If you had, if it came back and needed to be emergency replaced, but until we have a definitive engineer come back and says it needs to be replaced, I think the current capital strategy within roads would be enough there to cover.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. I think you should review the engineering plan and
Right.
figure it, because yeah, but that's just been the chatter for
Yep,
2
nope,
months.
100%, like I said,
$1,000,000.
It's one of the things, once we get through this year, I'm hopefully gonna be working on getting an actual capital plan
Plan.
going. Yeah,
Yep,
I just,
it's good.
it's one of those things that just, it needs to get done and I'm not in a position to get it done this year, for this fiscal year. Everybody good on roads? There'll be some warrant article. This one will be very much down to how it gets worded at town meeting to get it to execute right, but that's the general plan. Community services, aging in place, I've heard flat. I haven't heard, they haven't sent an official request.
All right, so therefore it'll be flat.
It'll be flat. Because I know they do. Huh?
A little bigger.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, we don't need that information. Cemetery, Bob asked for a $70 increase. After school, I'm still gonna, Carrie Casey's probably listening to this. I still disagree with her assessment of how that all works out, but we're gonna take, they're not gonna directly fund from property taxes. We're gonna take the $18,000 left over from fiscal year 24 that was appointed up to 22,000. They spent roughly 6. We're gonna take 18,000 and put it back into the program. And that should cover it, because I know this, you guys have talked about, adding a position, which would allow more students. Based on how it's working now, I think it should remain revenue neutral if you do that. So hopefully it will. I think year to date,
Yeah.
roughly $17,000 expense, same amount roughly brought in.
Got $15 left right now.
So I think we're
Good,
We're- right.
We're tight, but we're.
tight. Plus you have the 5,000 from this year that'll carry forward as well. Allocated,
That was a one-time ask.
right? But it should carry with it's
I don't think it was intended that way.
5,000 from this year.
No, we weren't gonna ask.
No, sorry,
Oh, from last.
from last year's
this
town meeting,
current-
put in 5,000. They haven't tapped that.
Do you have $15 left, including that, or
was that, when you sent me that information the other day, did that include the 5,000 that we were appropriated? Is that the right word?
Appropriated.
Yes, it is.
I
I
just said new activity, so what's been
Right.
recorded for cash receipts and what's been recorded for expenditures.
I can pull it real quick.
I think it did show on.
Let me grab, I'll grab revenue because that's the fastest one to find.
Yeah.
So after school has brought in just under 17,000. And
But I think it includes.
then the expense. Social services, special revenue. It is special revenue now. After school has expensed 14,500 with a net, and they're gonna have,
Yeah, that's salaries and supplies.
yep, so they'll have a carry forward balance of about 10,000.
So you have more than 15 books.
You spent 14,
So that includes the 5,000.
yeah,
Okay.
so that'll roll plus the 18 that goes back in, there'll be some decent money to play with.
Yeah, but not an additional 5,000, just what
right.
they have left.
Right, no, so there's
But-
not additional 5,000.
A couple months left though, right?
Yeah,
so we'll
But
be
I'm saying the
working
5,000 that was appropriated this year will stay with it. They've spent 14. They've raised 17 plus we appropriated 5 this year. So
We're not appropriating any.
we're not appropriating
Right.
any more for next year.
Right, just the 18.
Right, the 18 from undesignated.
Transferring the 18.
Yeah.
Good to go.
So I mean, I think it just speaks to how we're doing a good job.
Oh,
You're doing a
They are
very
doing-
good job.
They are doing a really good job.
How
Yeah,
long?
it's doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
Expected that program to cost the town net the 5,000.
Yeah.
So right now it's pretty much break even.
Break even. So we're
Was our plan originally.
plan Athletics Association and Beach staying flat. I did get approached by Justin Tibbetts, who is our current mowing contractor. His kids are also very active in athletics. A couple of himself and a couple of other local contractors have approached field maintenance companies in the past to come in and redo the fields because the softball field is in pretty
terrible shape.
terrible shape. The baseball field, the actual field itself is okay, but the dirt work is not. And they're asking some local contractors because the fields are it's an interlocal agreement on the actual like sports, but they still use our fields for the sports.
Okay, that's what I was just gonna, they don't for soccer.
They don't
because
for
they use
soccer,
In the middle school and the
Yeah.
high school fields.
but baseball and
So
softball.
it's not just for Mount Vernon kids, it's for the
The
whole
whole
area.
area.
Okay, because I was gonna say, how many kids are there?
Right,
actually
but
playing
I
sports?
think they rotate through the fields.
Okay,
And if the softball field was in good shape, they would use it because I spoke to them too.
Okay, so
And funny enough, when I was in Florida last weekend, I sat next to the field company from Monmouth.
yeah, well, based on the 24 audit, there's roughly 20 something thousand in there.
22.
22 plus whatever they last year, so another 1,500, like 23 probably. They got quotes back on a lot more than that, so they're trying to see within like the local contractor group if they could do it for cheaper and then bring that to the town to see. I don't think he is.
It's
Yes.
just Vanessa.
Yeah.
And I spoke with both of them and
No,
No,
no, because that's another one that we need. The beach needs some work. I kind of want to leave the appropriation flat.
weren't we gonna leave the monies in there?
Yeah, because that way there we're at least building the reserves, so that way there we can maintain it. And like down here, just personal observation, like the beach needs to be raked, the actual water area, because it's just full of those leaves and
that's not part of Justin's,
raking, no, inside the water.
oh, inside the water.
there is no actual contract, so it's not his job.
That can come out of I mean, I think it's like $2,000 to fell a tree right now, so that money could get used to take the tree down and maybe. Yeah. So the money's basically appropriated there, and then I think it'll probably come up to the select board that we'll just have to run the beach this year / find people that want to deal with it.
It would be really nice if we could reinstate the rec committee so
Yeah.
that we had a
And I-
better feeling.
Right, and I think-
that- And every, it wasn't this one doing this and this one.
Right, I think
doing
it'd
that,
be
this doing
one-
this.
I asked the community center chair if the community center wouldn't mind absorbing the beach for this year, and I was told they have enough on their plates.
It was too much.
It was too much.
It was too much.
Sherry basically told me no. She said she wasn't even gonna bring it to committee. No.
I think it would be a good idea
But
to
she
just,
said it nicely.
She said it nicely.
just try to, the rec department used to be pretty active.
Right. And I think
Years
it's,
ago,
And
but-
we
I
used
think-
to have a lot more students.
Yeah,
That's
right.
exactly.
I think it's one of those things we just need to put it out there and kind of lump it together
Did
with
you lump it with athletic?
I
Well,
would
the rec
lump
department
athletic
Is the big,
recreation.
the recreation department, all of those things fall under it.
Right.
Like the beach and actually the after school, all of the
Right.
sports. they
Kind of
all
lump
spell
all of it
under
as one kind of big committee
Yes.
that sees everything.
I just didn't know that existed.
It used to.
Yep.
Not a bad idea.
And then on the community center side,
I'm the treasurer for the community, and this is the part I want, we've been interested in seeing today.
yeah, so their expense side, we're adding pest control, so Mike doesn't have to trap the mice himself. We can have that done professionally. Once a
They aren't
month,
yet, but they will come once a month.
Yeah.
once a month.
I don't think it is.
It
Well-
doesn't sound like anybody wants to.
The other piece of this is that we want the town to absorb all of the operating expenses so that the fundraising can be used for like if there's a building repair or you guys want to put on activities, they kind of, split between the two that use it to build up the capital, but also use it for programming.
Guys are for you guys. But
Right.
The five,
For-
your fundraisers are for you guys. They shouldn't be doing that to pay for.
I think we mentioned to Sherry at the select board when she came in front of us, we all voted that everything for repairs would come out of capital.
Right.
in the town.
Capital.
Yeah, there's still. as you were-
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot more than you thought.
Right.
We need the front stairs replaced.
Yep.
Right. So I think,
Oh, I totally.
So,
uh,
so what is the plan in terms of, what the community center committee actually is responsible for?
so I think the plan was that the committee would take the limited fundraising that they do, which is about 10,000 a year, and put that towards more activities. And I would argue, right, if there's like a kind of the above and beyond
You don't
the actual
work on-
operations of the building. But like the electricity, pest control, and general upkeep of the building, the town tax base would take on that. And then you have your fundraising for. Right,
No.
right, your fundraising money.
Correct.
If you have a slow year on fundraising, the lights are gonna stay on. The building's gonna be upkeep.
Yeah,
Right. Right, and I think that, right.
Be for fun stuff.
Right. I think there's a part of it too where some of the fundraising money, if they build up fundraising money over time and there is like a major, like I would say like overhaul project, like, if you wanted to
sand floors.
sand the floors or,
But if you guys want to do that, because it's not their
it's-
responsibility to have fundraisers and bust their, I appreciate all the ones you do, even though I can't come to all.
right, that's why I kind of said the above and beyond.
Yeah, it's hard.
Right.
I think I've gotten expense information from Barry. I think I got it twice. But I
Right.
don't understand what amount.
Right.
money we've been
Right, and we don't want,
talking.
right, and that's why I think going forward, we're gonna take that burden off of you guys to not worry about the lights, the heating. If there's minor projects down here or like, you want to right, or those kind of stuff. Right, that kind of stuff, or,
Make it-
Bigger conversation about this, but because I think these guys have done a great job.
no, they have, but we're,
But they shouldn't have to work that hard to.
Oh,
right, but I'm saying, like,
The cap-
I think there's, a balance here.
right, there is a balance, but I think, right, that's kind of where I guess I'm getting at through this, and this was the discussion we had 2 or 3 weeks ago with Sherry is it's a town building, it's a town asset. The town should pay to upkeep it. What happens with the fundraising money? That's where the committee can say, okay, we want to use it for activities. We want to put on more activities, that maybe are not fundraising activities, but they're activities that cost money that are a net cost. They have the ability to do that and not have to worry about keeping the lights on.
And
And then
once Dorcas and Sherry gets done with putting all the numbers together, you should be able to get those numbers
Yeah.
where your balances are
I know what current year,
easily.
I know what the current year activity is. I'm just so working with the auditors to get the beginning
And that's
balance.
fine. It was just in the past, we were expected to pay something for capital. And I didn't, it was like, I don't even know.
Right. And I think coming full circle back to it, it's you guys do your fundraising, keep doing what you're doing, how you're doing it. As that capital fund builds, year to year. If there's ways that it can be used to help offset an expense and the community center board says, yes, we want to do that, great. At your discretion. Right, and still identifying needs, still, kind of overseeing the building, but the actual net cost should be funded through property taxes. The actual upkeep of this building. And then the fundraising is kind of above and beyond. And then, like we did, this past year is a perfect example. The community center board was asked, do you want to use your funds to do this and then additional contributed in above and beyond that. And I think that the town has always funded the community center. It's being very explicit that the cost regardless and capital costs will be funded by the town and the fundraising money is above and beyond that. Yeah.
I think, a lot of it's appropriation.
Right. Right. So I don't think it's a necessary change. It's just a recognizing that this is kind of how it's been done. Right. Right. There isn't. And I think it's also to note that the building breaks even on its general use, like the general use of the building between fundraising, rentals and all that basically covers the expense. So that the building is, I don't want to say profitable, the building kind of pays for itself, but we don't want to use that money to pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
revenue neutral.
It's revenue neutral. And I think we've tweaked a couple of numbers up and down. Kind of recognizing that heating oil and that particular energy might spike. The one thing is on the stairs, windowsill and ramp. And I heard 80,000 in the ballpark of 80,000. Yeah.
But now to become ADA compliant. Only ramp, parking, you have to grade the surface and maybe the generator with the propane tanks to it. So it turned into.
It turned into a bigger project. And I think from my perspective,
But it shouldn't be done again.
right, that's the thing. I mean, you figure if you space it out, that aluminum ramp, I would say is probably base 30 years. I think in reality, probably closer to 40.
It's probably not something.
Been there the entire time I've been coming here, and I'm 26 almost. So I think so I guess we had originally budgeted, and we've been talking along 35,000 plus between 7 and 12 to redo the stairs. Right.
I'm hoping that while.
Yeah. So I had put it in kind of because I have a live version. I can play with it before I send it out. So I kind of played with it a little. My proposal is to delay the stairs and the sill for a year and just do the ramp and
The
all.
hill's rotten. You can't do that. The stairs suck to walk on.
Yeah, so there's.
I hear you, but yeah, the stairs suck. I can't even walk down.
Oh, I don't disagree. The stairs suck. Mike, right.
They're not same.
Right, they're not consistently, the steps are all different sizes and the platform really should come up
Yeah.
and be level with that entry into the building.
So you could get kind of like the sign
Yep.
could the school come down and build a set of stairs if we gave them the money? I mean,
It's not industrial, it's woodworking, carpentry, not
It's carpentry.
CATSI. We could approach CATSI, Capital Area Technical Center.
All right, could somebody come and do that?
I don't know if they do communities.
It's good practice to do rise over run when you're a carpenter.
Yeah, so I don't disagree. I mean, the big thing is is the $35,000 project is turned into an $80,000 project.
But
So-
we have 98,000, so.
Well, I guess Dorcas is here
We have 98,000
from
from
the
where?
the FEMA reimbursement.
She was trying.
Right, but we may,
Check that was received. I don't know what that's.
is it for this?
Did we just?
I don't know
approve
what
it to her?
Last fall.
Oh, last fall. That's the same, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bob and Dan are the only two that aren't here, so one of the two of them said it came from the roof repair from here. We got it. in
We
two
got
chunks.
34,000.
Oh, that was that two
Yeah, two,
checks, so.
a 17 and a 17, yeah.
So, and when did we receive those funds?
I'm sorry.
Is that part of the FEMA money that came in the
Yeah,
fall?
we got.
Yeah.
We got, full cost of the roof, which was 34,000.
So,
That FEMA money is from several years ago.
Yeah.
I don't think the
It was
19
from
is-
the storm of 25, I think,
Uh,
24.
No, I
But
think it
for
goes
this
back
building?
several years. I'll have to
so,
look at the-
and I think to Karen's point, this is kind of where I'm gonna say that's where you pull on, that's basically regardless of the money, if the money came in this year, let it go to undesignated funds and then pull back out of undesignated funds for the ramp.
What's the difference? If it just goes into their.
Because of how town meeting works, the revenue wasn't, we basically didn't tell what the revenue was gonna do, so we can't retroactively do it until we're at town meeting.
Okay, so
So-
put it on the.
Right, so what I'm saying is, instead of writing a warrant article that spells it out, just write a generic warrant article that just pulls it from undesignated. And just let the normal mechanism, the normal internal mechanism get it into undesignated funds. But either way, you're pulling the same amount of dollars back out of undesignated funds that went into undesignated funds from FEMA. But
Where is that money right now?
right, it's reimbursing the town. But it's, I don't know how.
Where the money was placed when we received it.
Right.
Looks like I found the document, it looks like it goes back to 18 and 19.
No, the roof,
Those big storms, we had flooded the beaches.
Yep.
yeah, there was something that
stuff
happened.
too.
There was big FEMA money that came in from 18
came
or
in
19
chunks,
storm. Yeah.
I believe.
I mean, it's oftentimes several years behind.
Right.
But the roof was surprisingly quick.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the roof was only. the
So
storm
when
was 20
how did we fund the repairs in 23, 24?
I don't recall. I think we probably took it out of, we had a special town meeting and took it, or it was in town meeting.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. What did we do with it?
And all those deposits, Dorcas, were at Androscoggin, right? All those FEMA checks went into Androscoggin?
Right
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Nope, that's Locke's Corner. Legal fees, ARPA. No, that's Locke's Corner.
notes from many years ago, so I don't know
Yeah.
what other payments there.
Oh,
Yeah, this was.
well, I'm missing the one from that one. So it wasn't in 24. So I don't have the warrants back to 23.
Okay.
But it wasn't on this. I thought it was on this one, but it's not. This one was to use $100,000 to match a grant for Locke's Corner. And then engineering of Locke's Corner and then legal fees. That was from 24. So unless it was a 23 special town meeting. If I had to guess, it was probably undesignated. You pulled from undesignated, funded it, and then waited to get reimbursed. So in theory, we're just pulling from undesignated again. But without that special town meeting, know how it was paid for in 23
Is there another place we file it other than
that I have access to.
just in general?
up in the, I mean, there's probably a paper copy up in the filing cabinet.
Okay.
I'm just not there at this moment. to
No, I
find it.
was wondering.
Yeah.
That's the only place we put stuff.
Uh, Did I close the Excel spreadsheet? I did.
Just a few things move off and fix it, so. I mean,
Which is what, that's what you're showing, right? The-
Unless you
No,
guys,
You're showing,
Payment, the 99,000 that was deposited, I think the final of several payments goes back to that big storm in the fall of 2017.
yeah,
But it
we're
was
talking about-
deposited
yeah, this would-
yeah,
2025.
2020,
we're talking about
calendar year 25, fiscal year 26.
We're talking
Yeah.
about 2/17.
yeah. So that's the thing with me. It just takes forever to actually get reimbursed.
Payments,
So I think that in terms of the FEMA damage to here was roughly what, 30,000? Roughly
I think it was,
34,000.
I think we got 2 checks of 17,000.
So
But Dorcas is saying those are showing that they came from 2017,
No,
correct?
No,
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 he's saying
I see.
98,000 came from 27.
$99,000 check was part of a total reimbursement of 294,000 that goes back to 2017. I don't know. I don't remember seeing anything this, since I've been treasurer for the
No, it was a
community center.
45.
Yeah,
Okay, so in 2017, what did we pay 294,000 for?
Box Corner,
roads.
It was that huge storm right around the,
Halloween. Yes, because my German exchange students were here and we had no power. And they got to experience New England.
Okay.
That is fine.
Right.
No, half of their,
It's dark.
well, my parents' house had a generator at least, so half of them were at my house playing video games in my bedroom. Sorry.
Change that argument to coming, unfortunately, the money coming here, then that money should technically go back to the roads budget cap.
it was road damage, Cargill Road, Desert Pond, Dill, Fort Hill,
With just.
Right.
Rome Road.
Well, I think,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Like-
right, so I mean, that's
Get
just, an
through.
I mean,
So there was 21,000 appropriated for Article 15 in our annual town meeting in
24.
fiscal year 23.
So we just paid it out of property taxes and now it's going back in undesignated,
But
so.
what was that? Well, that was for here.
31,000.
Okay.
So I'm then I think I think this argument's gonna stand.
This was just last year.
21, take. It was, you said 2 checks for 34,000?
No, one check, two,
2,
17.
so it was.
17, so 34,000.
31,000. And the article says that they will go back to surplus to replace these funds.
So the argument again I will make is that we take $34,000 from undesignated funds. And then the difference. Actually, here, no, this is how I'd word it. Fund up to 50,000 from the general fund, property taxes. Any additional funds necessary to complete the project from undesignated funds
For the
Wait a
ramp
minute.
for the ramp.
1,000
and stop. the-
General fund assessment in their budget. And then we'll put the 12,000 back in for the stairs and sill.
Why wouldn't you reverse the tax burden on people and put the 50,000 out of general fund and put the 35,000 on the tax side?
I mean, you could do it that way. You could,
I mean, that's what they were expecting.
I mean, yeah, we could do 30. So it'd be roughly a total of 50,000 between the two projects.
35 for the
Ramp.
12 for the stairs and until we get quotes.
Right. So I mean, I think with that, and then I would do probably 3 for the cell.
The 12,000 included the cell. I think.
I think,
Sherry.
I-
Yeah.
right. So that's why I'm saying I think we'll go back to the 50,000 to capital. So Karen, what about this?
Okay,
So I think this might work better. Put 50,000 into capital, of which 35,000 is for the ramp, 15,000 is for other projects, or 12,000 is for other projects, $3,000 just into capital to build a capital account out. The warrant article will say the remainder will come from undesignated funds.
I think that's better.
Ramp, 30K, 35K.
Try it again, Kathy.
Yeah.
One
So
more
are you,
time.
are you saying the 50,000 in capital is in their account, in the community center account, or in what other?
In the so the community center capital account, we'll put 50,000 in. And that will, 35,000 of it earmarked for the ramp,
I get that part,
12,000 for
the,
stairs,
and then the other.
3,000 for,
So that's coming out of the community center capital, is that what you're saying?
it's, you know, it's coming
Because
from
they're-
property taxes and going into community center capital.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
We're
that's-
transferring.
Yeah.
That's where I didn't.
Because
We're going to raise $50,000 in
Okay,
capital
so I
funds,
missed-
and then we're gonna use it, spend it all.
Okay, I
And then
missed that
whatever's-
raising part.
Yeah,
Whatever's left will come from undesignated.
undesignated funds to complete the ramp.
And that's gonna be in a warrant.
So that doesn't, unless I'm thinking of this wrong, that doesn't do what you just asked.
It,
Because you asked for 34,000 to come out of the taxpayers and 50,000, and he just said the opposite from what.
you're on the, up there in the left-hand column, right
So
there in the
can't see
middle.
that.
So here, what we'll do here
I can't
is we're
see
gonna
it.
zero the capital out. Put
Because right
35,
now, there's 0 in the capital, correct?
10 maybe.
Or 6, I think it was like 6, something like that.
There's
right?
not a lot.
Okay,
They got drawn down pretty heavily. So we'll do that.
Well, I can't see what you're doing. You enlarge it a little bit.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna go into some more. Okay, here we go. That better?
so the 35 is what we had talked about on the ramp
Yep.
for the last
And
segment
then we're
anyway.
Yeah.
And
12,
then we had 12 on the
12,000
stairs.
I
here.
can't listen to both of you.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Tyler.
and then 3,000.
So,
To 12,000. Here, I'll bold them. Ramp and sill, 12,000. Ramp replacement,
Stairs-
35,000.
Stairs itself.
Stairs and sill.
stairs.
And then regular kind of
Just-
incidental
yeah.
capital, 3,000, and then a new capital for these two items specifically if one of these blows up. The TV gets
So this is what you're gonna ask for.
What
the
about,
town
tax,
Tax.
based to pay.
Okay, okay.
So the community center total budget would be 67,943 compared to 35,738 from last year.
so we talked about, putting in some sound dampening here to improve the acoustics.
Yep.
Is that being considered?
That's what that 2,000 capital.
You just said
That's-
was the TV broke.
That's, yeah, that's not gonna do anything. Yeah.
That's
mean,
kind
we-
of what the capital is there for, is for, it's if something blows up, but it's also if you identify a need.
Well, that needs the other portion of the ramp is right now. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what that's why there's a separate,
The ramp replacement is critical.
right,
And
this, if
the
the,
other work here
the,
is
I mean,
perhaps next
like I
year.
said, I think the speaker project, I think we can push for a year. Maybe,
I would agree.
I think we can push it for a year.
Or maybe the counter. he could-
That, I mean, that would be a good use of the fundraising.
It's acoustic, sorry.
Well, not even, I mean, you could do that and the speakers, you could fundraise. We're gonna say that's our fundraising goal is to finish this AV project.
But she has to talk to the committee.
Right.
You might say,
parking, ramp. and
I was
parking.
gonna say, where's the money for the parking area?
It's all part of it.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
There's two of the RFPs.
I mean, in reality, the ramp replacement honestly the actual ramp itself is going to be paid from undesignated funds. The actual tax ask is to do the parking and all of the site work. Cause that's roughly 30.
People, when you're looking at 67,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So this
you
is to
just did-
redo the parking and all of the site work to make the new ramp fit. We're going to pay for the ramp from the undesignated funds of $50,000.
I think that information is important.
That, I think explaining everything
Yeah.
all the time.
We will be happy to.
Yes. I've already told Jason that he's going to be up at town meeting explaining his asks on the air packs and the turnout gear and the salaries information.
And when are they gonna start the ramp?
No,
After July. So they're gonna start in July. Our goal is to
Soon it has to go through.
town meeting. So
And from what we're talking to the two, from what the two RFPs said, the two different parts. Each one of them said they could get it done within like 10 minutes.
And they're okay waiting until July?
Yeah, that,
the RFP made it clear that this had to get funding, had to get
Had
approved
to
at
get,
town.
yeah, I
meeting.
read that. Yeah, okay.
Right, and that also would, dry it, because it takes until July to really dry.
It's not just that, the current ramp has to be taken down, any damage to the building
Has
has
to be repaired.
And then they can start putting it all back together.
Yeah,
after the- it's, there's
Well, yeah, there's that too.
groundwork, moving the generator.
right, so I think getting it done by November
It
it's,
needs to be done.
right, that's 4 months if they're asking. So I think that's 90 days from the start of the new fiscal year. It'll be tight, but it'll be doable.
So are you thinking of putting all this in one article? Like just this total?
I think the
It's one big project.
it's one big
I
project.
know, but I'm thinking about this, but the stairs and the.
The stairs should be separate.
Sill would be separate.
separate
So is that
ask.
gonna be a
That's gonna
separate-
be part of the overall community center ask.
So it's either yes to everything or no to everything.
No, it's yes to everything minus the ramp the ramp project is a separate standalone ask.
Okay,
The front stairs is just part of the community center's budget for this year.
okay.
I mean, we can make it,
Just
it's-
thinking, people are gonna go, what's that money for? I mean, I just know.
Yeah.
that
No,
people
and
are gonna ask. and I
that's
just write
the same
stuff.
budget presentation that I've been giving is what I intend to give when we present the warrant. Is we'll go through and I'm gonna do a write-up.
Right.
It's
that-
one of those,
that's an important
that's, I mean,
update.
that's gonna be it's gonna kind of, I'll be blunt, it's gonna be a town meeting. It's either we fund this or we can't use the building for voting and what are we gonna do? So I think it'll kind of be this is a necessary thing to keep the building compliant and reduce illegal liability.
And make it accessible.
And make it accessible, it's a public building, it needs to be accessible.
That's the whole ADA.
Right. Library. Couple of up tweaks. Still using the same amount of money out of their reserves, the 16,000, just increasing the town ask to 34.5. Just where we haven't we've had to increase some of the expense lines, heating, we upped the heating and electricity pending. We moved the retirement match into their budget, so it's accounted for there. And then instead of 2.5% raises. Up to. So that brings the total expenses to 63,659. And so the revenue difference would be 34,500. And it consumes the same amount. That's 25% of the 60K remaining. Which is what you guys said you wanted to draw it down at roughly 25%.
But you have another 24,000 that came in this year. If you look on the incomes.
We did get a bequest, 6,000.
Oh, I didn't know. That's awesome.
That was a request, a friend of Fred Weber. Friend of Fred Weber from decades ago. We get the Vienna appropriation every year, it's 4,500. And we also have had increased contributions, we think, because of the tech help. So that's why we thought we could fund that out of our library operations. But yes, the donations have been stronger for the past few years, but we got a couple of special items. The request, then we got another $1,000 for periodicals.
The textbook books that we were getting before those grants stopped, right?
Right, yep,
So we were.
right, so the library's taking it on and moved the.
Yeah, it's on there. I struggle with not taking more out of there, that you have 84,000 sitting there and you have the Shaw. which-
That's a trust fund.
And I get, that. No, I know
And
that.
we have taken, that got up over 200,000, and we spent a lot of that on addition a few years ago, but we try to do our own, building repairs. So.
I just, that's my opinion. I struggle that there's 84,000 there and that we're still kicking in 34. So that's all. It's my opinion.
Yeah. So on we'll use the revenue side because I think the expenses, I think we all kind of agree the expenses line up at what it costs to run the library. So they're estimating roughly $8,000 in contribution revenue.
Right.
Vienna gives 4,500, and then the town of Mount Vernon, they're asking to give 34,500. They have
Our request was 30.
was 30 with some increases that we've asked for. We've upped it. It's about a $4,500 increase in the budget on top of what they've asked for. The question is there's roughly a carry forward balance between, depending on how you look at it, between $60,000 and $80,000.
There's 60,000 that carried over and there's 24,000 in income this year. So that's 84,000. That's according to the document that you gave us the other day.
The income, would have been factored into this current year's budget.
I don't see it.
Some of it is, all that income, so right there, there's 10,000, it's factored in, and we did get the special gift, I said, 6,000. And the contributions have been higher than the budget.
Right. So I think there's, to Karen's point, I think, yes, there is an increased revenue over what's being budgeted, but at the same time, a lot of those are restricted gifts. No?
Nope.
So
The $1,000 for the periodicals subscriptions was restricted. The 6,000 was not. We would plan to use that for some sort of capital item, probably. But we have not asked the town for capital expenses since the renovation or the expansion. It's quite a few years ago now.
Right.
But, so we try to fund our own.
we're having to change the book, vendor, it went for many that.
Trying to stay within the budget. That's a lot of extra work for Alice, but yeah,
So, I mean,
we did request
I think a 25% reduction in I'm going to say reserves to fund operation. I think that's kind of above and beyond how you would use reserves. I don't necessarily want to draw the reserves down more than that.
I'm just looking at this 10.63% from the schools and the 9% from the county. And we ask and we ask and we ask, and we're gonna suck that up for 2 more years because that 3-year average rule. So I think that we have to have some sucky decisions for the next 2 years. Because this is money out of people's pockets to pay taxes. And the people that I talk to don't have the extra money to pay the extra taxes.
On from 45 to 34.
Right. I mean, so
It's gone down. From
We're,
45 to
right
30.
now, we are at a 1.66% increase.
Yep.
Which is under inflation.
It is, but we got 10.63 and 9 over here screwing us. We did do a good job on this, but there's room for improvement.
I don't,
Not from the library.
Okay.
I just,
Not from the library.
I'm not cutting the services in the library at all, I didn't cut services in the library.
I mean, we could,
I increased their
do you feel
contribution.
comfortable authorizing authorizing a 30% reduction in reserves?
Not my call.
Be the
I'm
board?
Just, it's the board, yeah. I'm just,
No, I say you stay with a 34.5.
With the library trustees,
This is what the board gave us.
that's what the library trustees authorized to draw their reserves down by 25%. So we'd have to go back to the library board and ask them if for additional reduction.
Okay, because we're asking the community center to do things too.
Well,
I thought we agreed to have the town pay for the community centers.
right, it's the same.
That's right.
But we just had a conversation about possibly them doing the sound
Yeah, yeah.
absorption.
Right,
So that's a
but-
conversation.
In the six, I mean, the library trustees didn't have to authorize the reserve reduction. They volunteered $16,000 from their capital reserves to buy down their ask this year.
Okay, when they did
But
that,
I-
did they know we had so much, the 10.63 and the 9%, because that
it's also-
9%
it's a
just
special
crawling up.
revenue fund.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
we do solicit donations and we try to be very responsible with those donations and use them for capital projects as needed.
Right, so we don't want to draw it down to zero. And
I didn't say 0.
but I mean,
So Tyler, can I just
yeah,
ask, so we originally had said 30,000.
Yeah.
So can you just explain a little bit about, I know you said energy costs.
so
but-
there's the energy.
But why you added four?
So we moved retirement funding.
Okay,
So that was $1,200. Plus they had only budgeted a 2.5% salary increase. The rest of the town were doing 3 to 5 based on performance reviews. So we increased that to be in line with the rest of the town. And then the other two was energy costs.
Okay.
It's those three items that made it over. So
Did the evaluations happen yet?
they are being scheduled for the next couple of weeks.
That's what you said the last 2 weeks, and today's is 30.
so I think the 25% is where we should stay.
Yeah, I'm again, without them authorizing it, I think
It's-
it's
yeah.
it's kind of a moot point. For us, I mean, the difference would be it's a $4,000 difference. Not to be cavalier about that, but it's drawing reserves down
Right.
and you're basically just taking from different pots at that point. You're not actually reducing the overall expenditure of the library.
No, you're increasing the money coming out of people's.
Right, but
pockets.
then
But that's what you decided, do it.
well, I'm saying, but then next year, say there's more reserves again, it's gonna jump right back up.
And next year, we still have the school thing at 10.63%.
Right,
What we
well-
gonna do about that?
All we're doing is we're opening up a bigger financial cliff on the library funding, because eventually those reserves will be drawn down. But Karen, what I'm saying is next year on the library, if we draw their reserves down too much, they can't contribute reserves again next year, so the
Right.
budget's gonna spike.
That's
And there'll be
right.
a $15,000 increase.
We don't want spikes.
Right, we're trying to keep the budget, consistent year to year. If we take reserves and buy down operational expenses too much, next year you won't be able to use the reserves. You're gonna spike it right back up again. So minimizing the change year to year, but we're still a significant reduction of 30% year to, we're reducing it by, I'm gonna be accurate.
I
with my
thought
number
the
here.
board was pretty generous.
We're reducing it by 24% from last year on property taxes. Assuming those reserves are still there, we probably could do it again next year. But then when those reserves are drawn down to a point, it's going to spike back up. And you're gonna be back to a $50,000 appropriation.
How do you know they don't get another $24,000 in it?
Well, you
income
can't,
next
you
year?
can't rely on that from an operational budget perspective.
Nope.
So again, that's why and I think the consensus is to not draw it down more than we
I
can.
already agreed. You guys said that. Go for it. Do
Okay.
it.
That leaves the last three, which is the social services, and these are remaining flat. This one is confirmed to be on the warrant, and we're neighbors Indian
Neighbors driving.
What are they asking, 1,000?
$1,000.
Oh, I can see it now.
1,000. And then historical society would be 10 pending signatures.
So are they working on that or
I haven't,
I mean, if we're really looking at saving money, I mean, I think what we might want to consider is what is that 10,000 going to be used for? I mean, is it just a willy-nilly number? Why not
They
maybe
presented
give
the
them,
numbers.
why not maybe give them a less amount this year and
like I
see
said,
how
I'm
it
gonna,
goes? I mean, I'm
it's
just
one of
saying-
those items where it'll be a petition. The
Right.
petition will be on the warrant and it'll be decided at town meeting.
So will the petition specify the $10,000?
You can always make a motion to reduce it.
Right.
At town.
She did say that.
But she
It-
also
it should-
presented the numbers it was 36,000 to fix the basement. They fixed half of that. So, and they have 20,000 in the CD and they were asking for 10,000. They were pretty specific about that.
Is she gathering signatures?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's move on to the
Right.
next topic.
Yep, I at this point, we'll move it on. On the capital side, I don't. Huh?
Yeah.
Bigger.
All right.
See it.
We have the fire department ask for 65,000. We're gonna take 40,000 from FD Capital to fund turnout gear. So this can be done at any time. Assuming Jason gets a quote back from. He looked into it. Fire Tech and Safety is the only main vendor that offers our turnout gear. There are cheaper turnout gear, but you're talking for what our gear is.
Top of the line.
No, we're mid-grade. So cheaper is bottom tier. And then 2 air packs from undesignated funds to start the phase replacement of the 6 remaining older style packs. Here, this is 48,000. And then these 3 combined are 30,000. I'm just gonna split it between the two, but
45,000 for the ramp, right? Cause did you say it was 80?
it
Did we-
was 30, it was 30 and 47. And it. So. And then we said we'll put 12. And,
Wait, but the generator moving and the parking were included with the,
right,
too much,
Just
right?
breaking it out.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but
break.
that's too much, right? Cause we did 35 on the other side. Cause right now you got. like-
Oh, no, this is just a no.
No, but on what we had to raise was 35,000, which did the parking, right?
No. So let me go back to the community. So
What does that do?
we're doing 35,000 to ramp,
Oh, just the ramp, okay.
just the ramp,
was-
12,000 for here.
Yeah, but it was 80 total, you said on the RFPs for the ramp and parking.
Yes,
Different part.
there's 2 RFPs.
So
So
you got 35 there and then you got 48 plus 15 and 15 is too much, right?
Wow.
The parking.
no, this is just, we're back to this other discussion. We're gonna raise 35,000 and then the different total project is gonna come from undesignated funds.
It was 80,000, it's 35, it's 79,000 minus 48,000. 30, all right, my mistake.
Yeah.
Tired.
Nope. So a $35,000 raise from capital to fund, and then this will be 12,000. Okay, raise to 12K raise. From taxes. And then, let's yeah, 3,000.
So the stairs would be 8.
Yeah,
Well, the 12 was combined stairs and cell.
you're still too much because it's 35 on the other side.
Well, that didn't include the stairs then.
No, those are separate. Those are 12. The 48, 15 and 15.
So the 48,000, the quote for the actual aluminum ramp
Yeah,
is 48,000.
okay.
The site work quote, which is both of these, the parking and the generator move,
But that's 78,000 plus we have 35 on the other side.
It was the parking.
right, well, I'm,
This is just,
Karen, if I noted here that of this $48,000 for the ramp, 35,000 is being raised to capital. The remainder is coming from undesignated funds.
So should that be less number or not? Because everybody's gonna do the same thing I just did.
That's why I have the note, the 35K raised to capital
35K out of that 48.
of this.
Right.
Right.
So I can rewrite up that. So 35K will come from capital, remainder from undesignated funds.
Okay.
And then the windowsill, I'm gonna just lump that as stairs. So. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. The reval. Right, are we funding any of the reval this year?
I don't see why we would. Well, I mean, it's gonna be about $130,000 to do it. That's the current estimate. We're gonna put RFPs out. Probably should.
And that's, when's that plan to start? 20?
Yeah, it'll probably, from what I'm told right now, there's a huge backlog on doing revals, so it's probably 2 or 3 years out.
So it'll probably
So
go,
that's why I'm not sure whether we should do it this year or next year.
Well, that's what, yeah, why?
Oh,
we
we
can
need to
start
get-
putting.
We need to get the
Sure.
RFP out.
so but I mean, our current ballpark is 130,000 based on the last discussion we had. So we could take 50,000 from, I'm gonna say undesignated funds and designate it towards a future reval.
I think that's.
A little
good
bit
idea.
every year.
50,000 and then
And the next year we. can
another
do
50,000
another-
and then the third
see
year
where
when we're
we're
ready to
at.
fund it and see where we're at.
I mean, we are doing the factoring this year.
Fund.
If
So-
it, yeah, that should help.
That will help. I mean, it'll bring the mill rate down. People's taxes will remain somewhat flat.
We were talking about roads though. You didn't like doing a partial, can't remember why, but you didn't want to do partial funding for 3 different years.
No, I did. They didn't like
You
it.
want okay.
I wanted to partial fund things. Cause I'll use the Sadie Dunn example. If they basically. What I wanna do is fund it this year, start the work at the end of the fiscal year, and then fund the rest of it on the next fiscal year. Lee and Kurt didn't like that. For reasons that I didn't fully understand or agree with, but.
So say we do the 50,000 and all of a sudden, I don't know, 6 other places cancel and we move up on the line. Can we write the warrant so that it's like setting, or can you only do it for that year? Can you say setting aside 150 spread out over 3 years? But what happens if we can move up on the line and it's only a year out? We've only got 50,000.
I mean, we're funding it, all of it out of undesignated funds.
Special town meeting.
So it would just be a
Yeah.
special town meeting and we could pull the rest.
That's
Right.
just asking.
No, and it's a fair question to ask. We don't want to pull too much out of undesignated funds at once.
How much is in undesignated?
I don't know.
I know you don't.
Right, so that's why I'm saying is, we know there's a pot of money there that is expendable to draw down.
At the end of 24, it was 2,872,000.
Ah,
We're at June 30th.
Is part of that going to
24,
fire?
So we'll-
Yeah,
also
that-
getting
that
the audit
thing.
done. We'll have the June
It's ready to take.
25.
that's already, that was taken out from that amount. So,
Okay,
yeah,
just so if, so 50,000 set aside and
set
then
aside. And then these,
if it happens sooner.
these three projects are kind of question mark, question mark, question mark. But that's kind of how we're funding that project. And then on the revenue side, we're seeing an increase here on car truck year over year. So I think we were comfortable last time bumping that to 400, safely predicting 400,000. Tree growth refund, it's coming in higher. We didn't want to go too high because it fluctuates year to year. I'm really not confident in 200,000, but it's at 230 year to date. This is, it's revenue sharing. It's high this year, but if we continue to see a sluggish economy and declining in tourism revenue, sales tax revenue will be down, the state won't share as much. We can leave it there and it is what it is. I think it'll be offset because Lincoln Walton this year has brought in 94 year to date. But again, that's an invested thing, and if the market moves in different ways, that revenue could be down. So that's kind of why I want to be cautious. I mean, we're definitely acting year over year. But I think I don't want to swing too far in the other direction and create issues. I think we're doing it differently this year. We're being more transparent. I don't want to overswing and issue unintentionally. So with that, total town budget increase of 1.66%. County tax, I've heard 9. I am going tomorrow night to explain to them that they asked for a very large increase last year. Maybe not.
So they said the biggest thing was adding 2 more deputy sheriffs, Kennebec County.
Yeah,
That's
that,
the
and
biggest.
there dates from the state
Right,
on the jails.
exactly.
And there's just nothing that they can do about it, that we can do about it. It is what it is. And then the school,
Talked to Mandy yesterday. She's expecting the number to come down to a single digit number.
Nice.
That's good.
meaning 9 something.
9.
Good.
Yeah, that probably health insurance.
Health insurance
Yeah.
costs are coming in a little bit lower than they
Yeah, they
expected.
had a pretty high.
They always
projection.
have. So
Yeah, I
for
noticed that.
context, the 4 years that I was on the board, the entire budget process, they project a 15% increase in healthcare costs. If you look at my healthcare cost map, I do the same thing. They average about a 10% increase per year. I went back and looked at their historical mod rate adjustments. You factor in that you have a bad year, like, because I know my health insurance at the bank jumped 25% this past year. So, RSU 38 builds in a 15 throughout the entire budget process and then claws it back once they get
When
it.
they get the final number.
They should be getting it this week.
On the county tax
Yep.
though, is the 572 with the 9% increase?
Yes.
Okay.
So
And the
it's
47 is the.
the dollar increase and then the percentage.
And then you're gonna meet with them this week.
I'm going to their budget hearing. I talked to Joe Petrotsky. He called me last week and basically told me that they're ready to they have the votes to just get it out of committee tomorrow night.
Trotsky.
Petrotsky.
Trotsky.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry. I'm gonna I mean, if we were to drop this to say 9.8, let's be ungenerous, 9.8. That's a 300, I mean, it's not great, but it's driving this to under 2%, which is again, under inflation. Um. So we're in the right direction in terms of,
That's for our local tax.
yeah,
Well,
projected tax.
how is that possible? Just philosophically, doesn't seem like that can get, our tax rate can only be.
Well, so we didn't estimate bank interest last year. That's like $100,000 right there that we're bringing in this year that we didn't last year since they made the change on the,
Overnights, sweep to CDs.
well, that and the actual account that all the funds sit in was sitting in a regular savings account earning 1% interest. Right, the investment suite. So there's a big difference there. Building permit fees are basically almost tripled,
Would be amazing.
you know, so there's increased revenue there. Our projected excise tax revenue is up 100,000 compared to what they've been historically projecting it at. So there's a couple of things here that are coming in different than they did in prior years that can bring that down. Like I said, we can go fishing and try and claw back the rest of it and try and claw it down more. But I think from where we are now is very good. And I think this is an honest budget that we can bring back, that we've looked at it multiple times. And I think agreement, I don't know if we need to meet one more time. I think we can start drafting a warrant, and then there's a process through that warrant drafting period at the select board level that more feedback can be gathered, but I think this can be handed up to the select board and go from there and start putting an actual warrant process together over the next month.
Didn't we have one more public hearing
No, we have a public hearing after the warrant's done.
after?
Yeah,
Before the town meeting.
before the town meeting. So that'd be May the 1st, the community breakfast. On May 2nd, I have the community breakfast, and then right after that, we'll start presenting the actual, it'll be, that public hearing is really the warrants, like what are we voting on at town meeting? And it'll- May 2nd. Second. But yeah,
I mean, as challenging as it's been to get some of the numbers, this is far more open, and the numbers are far more available than they have been in the past.
And I think the whole process has been a lot more transparent than it's been in the past, and I really appreciate all the
Yeah.
work that everyone's done, because I think
Yeah, likewise.
it's made a big difference, and I think
Right.
it'll make a difference when we go to the town meeting, so
Right.
thank you for
yeah.
your leadership in that.
Thank you.
Tara.
I think we talked through a lot.
Right. So I went back and looked at all the YouTube uploadings, and we've been averaging 2.5 hour meetings for the last 2 months. So, and for the record, the budget was voted, the warrants were approved at the end of May last year. And they were still working, you guys were still working line by line budgets in May.
Oh, yeah, last year was a challenge because
So.
Tina was out for 2 or 3 weeks,
Yep.
and Carrie was out for 2 or 3 weeks.
So. We're in
Good shape, I think.
good shape. That's a good,
And you did a good job at the public
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I said,
Everybody
I've
went
been
away
monitoring
feeling
feedback.
pretty good.
I've been monitoring feedback, and I haven't really seen any, nobody's emailed me or reached out to me with, like I said, I think the one I've heard complaints on really has been the school. The school budget. So I think we're good, and we'll start drafting the warrants, and that'll be at select board meetings. All right, with that, we'll wrap up for the night.